are following a developing story for you right now. An 8.2 earthquake strikes tonight off of the northern coast of Chile. Good evening. I'm Tamara DeMonte.
And I'm Alan Marsden. A tsunami warning has been issued for all of South and Central America's Pacific coast. Reporter Francis Coe has the latest.
These warning sirens went off shortly after the massive quake struck off the coast of northern Chile. Chilean TV broke in with images from the first moments the quake hit. Objects rattling from ceilings and rattled nerves causing drivers to clog major roadways as they tried to evacuate. The Chilean Navy reported that the first tsunami wave hit the coast within 45 minutes of the quake. The quake struck northwest of a mining port, but major firms in the area reported no serious damage to operations. The subsecretary of the Interior Ministry appealed to residents who evacuated from coastal regions to not return until getting the all clear. He then struck a positive note, saying all was calm as no serious damage or deaths have so far been reported. Francis Coe, NBC News.
And back here at home, another round of stormy weather out there. Let's check in with Chief Meteorologist Chris Kuiper with a first look at our weather. Hi, Chris.
Hi, yeah, it's been a wet night in some areas around the North State. Other areas haven't seen that much in the way of wet weather out there tonight. The storm system really driving more towards central California, and for us around the North State, well, it's just been a lot of activity kind of off to the south of us and kind of a few hit and miss spotty showers out there. We check out what's going on here on the satellite and the radar picture. There is some shower activity here in Tehama County, as you can see, and then much more heavier stuff stretching down towards Sacramento and Colusa and Yolo counties, and even a little further south around Marysville and Yuba City, I suppose a little further south in that area. That's where the real wet weather has been out of this storm system today here, and it looks like that's where it's going to stay as the storm continues to move off more towards the south. Watch the low pressure system not really moving inland, it's just kind of hugging the coastline, and now it's going to start sliding into central California overnight and into the day tomorrow as well. That means improving conditions for us around the North State. I'll come back in just a bit. We'll talk about warmer weather in that 7-day forecast.
All right, we'll see you then. Thank you so much, Chris. Well, despite the recent storm, state officials say that California's snowpack is at 32% of normal. The Department of Water Resources said that measurements taken today in the Sierra show while recent storms helped to boost the snowpack's water levels, they have not been enough to reverse the ongoing drought. California depends on runoff from the Sierra Nevada through the hot, dry summer. Now, the results mean a challenging summer for California farmers and communities already facing water restrictions.
New developments tonight in the search for a missing snowboarder in the Sierra in the backcountry near Boreal. He has been found alive. 25-year-old Abraham Finkelstein of San Francisco was reported missing at 5 last night after he got lost cross-country skiing with his father. They were headed to a cabin near Donner Summit when they became separated during a snowstorm. Finkelstein's father was able to get back to their car and called for help. Search and rescue crews scoured the area on foot, but the weather prevented search efforts by air. Finkelstein reportedly found his way to a house tonight where he was able to make a phone call. Back here in the North State, fire destroys a house in Anderson early this morning, and after firefighters knocked down the flames came a gruesome discovery: 2 bodies and evidence of arson. Action News Now reporter Angela Musalam has more on what investigators are calling a murder-suicide.
Absolutely in shock, beyond shock.
That was Susan's first reaction when she saw this. Her childhood home charred, memories turned to dust. Neighbors say they heard an explosion around 6:15 this morning, and that's when they saw flames spewing from the home.
Well, I just heard a huge explosion and all the glass in the front window blew out.
A sweep of the house by police and fire investigators turned up a can of gasoline near one of the bedrooms.
The other indication, and again this is just an early indication, is that the fire was set on purpose.
2 body bags were taken out of the home by forensic investigators this afternoon. Anderson police say the victims were male and female, and the male had a gunshot wound to the head, which appears self-inflicted. Police say the female had been deceased for several days.
I want to be very clear that the 2 deceased victims that were found inside of the home were located in 2 separate bedrooms. They were both located in their beds. Both were adults.
Neighbors tell me the victim was very depressed because he recently lost his house for not paying the property tax.
He served the eviction notices on him yesterday.
Susan and her husband had no idea what happened until she got a call from her nephew this morning.
And told me, I have very bad news and I got to tell you this.
They recently moved back to Redding to take care of Susan's mother. Police don't know if she's the female victim.
I'm trying to stay as optimistic as possible.
Anderson police and fire officials are treating this as a homicide investigation, and it could be months before they can piece everything together.
We had a great life here.
In Anderson, I'm Angela Musalam for Action News Now.
Police have not officially released the names of the victims. Meanwhile, Susan is asking the Anderson community to keep an eye out for her mother, Claudia Riley, in case she was actually placed in a nursing home.
Shoppers in Chico will soon have to bring their own bags while shopping, or they'll have to pay the price. Chico City Council voted tonight to approve a new ordinance banning the use of plastic bags at local stores. If shoppers don't bring their own bag, they'll have the option of purchasing a paper or reusable bag for 10 cents. And while some citizens were opposed to the new ordinance, others thought that the ban was a step in the right direction.
The question at the register from do you want paper or plastic, do you need a bag? And most of the time the answer is no, because most purchases can be carried out easily in your hand or in your pocket or purse.
The ordinance will go into effect for supermarkets and big box stores on January 1st of next year. Pharmacies will have to comply by July 1st of 2015, and convenience stores and other small businesses will have to phase out the plastic bags by January of 2016.
A new policy is now in effect that could save the city of Chico some much-needed taxpayer dollars. A fraud, waste, and abuse hotline was set up to accept reports through a third party, which can be sent in from city employees, citizens, or vendors with the city. The reports are sent to the city auditor, city manager, city attorney, and mayor. From there, they investigate the reports and follow up with other departments, and they say people should not be afraid to speak up.
For somebody that may have been concerned, and for which that's the reason they never reported anything in the past, this offers an opportunity where you won't get in trouble. You, in fact, if you're uncomfortable, you can actually not even provide your name or information. Provide your complaint, you're provided a report number, and then you can call back to see what has happened with the call you made initially.
Hotlines like these have been known to reveal significant fraud. Since the policy went into effect last week, the city has already received 3 reports through the hotline. We'll provide the phone number and link to the online forum on our website, actionnewsnow.com.
A suspected car burglar is behind bars, accused in an overnight break-in at a downtown Chico parking structure. Among other things, several blank checks were also stolen. Then late this morning, officers were called to a check-cashing business on Mangrove Avenue, where the alleged thief was trying to cash one of the stolen checks. Police arrested 23-year-old Justin Nelson, who reportedly had stuffed another of the stolen checks into his sock. So far, none of the other items stolen from the car have been recovered. And a 46-year-old Plumas County cold case is getting a second look after specialized crime dogs picked up the scent of human remains. Plumas Sheriff's officials say that 3 crime dogs have found a scent of human remains in a well that is located in Meadow Valley that could be connected to a teenage boy's disappearance back in 1967. 13-year-old Mark Wilson told his parents that he planned to hitch a ride to Quincy to watch a movie, but he was never seen again. Sheriff Greg Hagwood says he is hopeful it's a lead. Plans are to dig up the well when weather conditions improve.
A Red Bluff man is behind bars after allegedly hitting a man in the head with a hammer. It reportedly happened Saturday evening on Monroe Street. Detectives say they identified Jeremy Hamilton as the suspect in the attack on a 32-year-old Red Bluff man. Hamilton was arrested early this morning on suspicion of assault with a deadly weapon, felony battery, and driving on a suspended license. He was booked into the Tehama County Jail.
Coming up next, Target joins Home Depot, Trader Joe's, and other large retailers in ending health insurance coverage for part-time staff as the Affordable Care Act comes into effect.
Plus, a new and controversial report on mammograms is out. Find out what it says about women's health. We'll be right back.